Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nitin Chhoda and welcome to this episode of Ignition Time. Thank you so much for being a viewer. Thank you so much for being a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber yet, please click on that little button on the bottom right hand corner of this YouTube player window and you'll be able to click the subscribe button and subscribe to our channel with a couple of clicks. Thank you so much for being a viewer and subscriber. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda. If you don't know anything about me, check out my video. You'll learn more about who I am, what my journey has been like, and why you should listen to me. This channel, the Ignition Time channel, is about the country, important matters pertaining to the country that affect our economy, and by extension, matters that tend to impact your money. I've been receiving a lot of questions actually about my home office. Here's a quick look at my home office, starting with my favorite lamp. It's actually a levitating lamp. It's sort of, just circles in the air and it rotates in the air. And then there's some wall art. And now you'll take a look at the view that I see outside my window. And you'll start to see that, the snow is starting to melt away. And, we're right in the middle of winter here in my neck of the woods. I live on the East Coast. So there was a quick tour of my home office, everybody. I hope you liked it. Now let's jump into the commonalities, something that both President-elect Biden and President Trump actually agree on. Can you believe they actually agree on something? Yes, they actually agree on something. Now, they have not publicly said that they agree on this thing, but when you put two and two together, you can see that they both agree on the fact that Americans need more stimulus money, larger stimulus checks. Now, here's something that's extremely interesting. Let's start with President Trump. First of all, on your screen, you'll see all the recent tweets from the president in the past 24 to 48 hours. As you can see, the president has one major priority, which is challenging the validity of the election. So President Trump, is still focused on challenging the validity of the election. There have been many setbacks to the president, but again, as you can see from the tweets on your screen, a big priority for the president is essentially declaring the election rigged and fraudulent. So that is essentially is a major priority as far as the president is concerned. But now let's shift our focus to President-elect Joe Biden. And President-elect Joe Biden has called the $900 billion stimulus package that passed in the House and the Senate, that passed both chambers of Congress. He called it a down payment on a bigger bill. And he essentially said to Republicans today that they should return to the negotiating table. And he was urging a lot of our fellow Americans to take precautions to avoid taking part in Christmas gatherings that could lead to a new spike in infections. So this is what President-elect Biden is focused on. Now, keep in mind, we do know that President Trump is expected to sign the new funding bill. So by the time you see this, he may already have signed it. But otherwise, President Trump's priorities have been a little bit different. And again, as you can see from all the different tweets on your screen that President Trump has been putting out in the past 24 to 48 hours, the president has a different set of priorities. And so the president essentially, is challenging the results of the election. And the president did release one tweet where the president talked about the great miracle of what the Trump administration has accomplished, essentially talking about the vaccine. So basically, what's happening again is two completely different priorities, completely different messages emerging from both these elected officials. Basically, President-elect Biden did praise the White House-led Operation Warp Speed. This is interesting because Operation Warp Speed that was set up by the Trump administration did speed up the vaccine development significantly, and President-elect Biden did indeed acknowledge that. Now, keep in mind that even though President-elect Biden was not part of the negotiations, remember, he's not a United States senator, he's not a congressman at the moment, so he did not negotiate with lawmakers directly, but he was kept updated of all the developments, and his incoming chief of staff, Ron Klain, was kept abreast of all the developments hour by hour. And so Democratic officials kept them updated. Now, where things stand right now is that President Trump's signature is required to convert to make this law. But here's something significant as far as the president's involvement in the stimulus bill is concerned. So the president did have an involvement through U.S. Secretary Stephen Mnuchin a couple of weeks ago, where he proposed a bill that included stimulus checks but did not include unemployment benefits, and that was immediately rejected by the Democrats. But there have been reports that the president had a call for $2,000 stimulus checks. Yes, President Trump called for $2,000 stimulus checks, but this was promptly ignored by Senate Republicans who agreed to a payout of $600. In fact, you'll see this article, this headline on your screen, published by the Washington Post. And by the way, we'll provide you with a link to these articles and our resources in the description section below. White House aides talked Trump out of last-minute demand for stimulus checks as big as $2,000. So basically, the White House aides actually intervened and they prevented President Trump from issuing a statement calling for substantially larger payments for millions of Americans. And basically, on a phone call last Thursday, President Trump told allies that he believed stimulus checks in the next relief package should be at least $1,200 per person and possibly as big as $2,000 per person. Yep, that's what the president wanted. And, Trump was in the middle of formally drafting his demand for the larger payments when basically White House officials told him that, hey, don't do that. It's going to blow up all the talks. So President Trump did have that intention. So ironically, and this is the ironic part of this whole thing, this is the one area where President Trump and President-elect Biden agree, and that area is that our fellow Americans need larger stimulus checks. You've heard me mention this before on my channel. I believe that everyone has been playing political games. You'll see this on your screen. They've been playing a game of chess. I believe House Speaker Pelosi has been playing chess. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell initially had a proposal that included unemployment benefits, then one that didn't, and finally we had one that included both unemployment benefits and stimulus checks. Also, by the way, a proposal that was over 5,500 pages long that everybody who voted on it could not possibly read. Simply impossible that they could have all read the package. And so there were a lot of giveaways and special interest favors that were tucked into that 5,593 page bill. And I'll actually be revealing some of those special interest provisions tucked away in that bill later on in our channel. But I want to point out again that this is the area where they agree. Look, guys, I just want to make sure that our viewers and subscribers understand. For me, it's not about the red or the blue. It's about the red, white, and blue. I'm not Democrat. I'm not Republican. I'm American. We are all Americans first. And I want our viewers and subscribers to know that at the end of the day, I believe help should go to those who need it the most. While our elected officials play a game of chess, like you can see on your screen, everybody keeps moving around. House Speaker Pelosi kept changing her position. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell kept changing his position. The president initially called for a larger stimulus on the 9th of October, then essentially stopped the stimulus talks altogether, then came back and said, I want a stimulus that's even larger than what the Democrats want. And then the White House proposed a bill last week, in fact I would say the week before last, 10 days ago, which again seems like a lifetime ago, that included stimulus checks, only $600, but no unemployment benefits. And then the president said he wanted stimulus checks as large as 2,000. So this is a very inconsistent position, and that's why I'm showing you the chessboard on your screen once again. Everyone has been playing chess. Whereas for our fellow Americans, it's about putting food on the table. It's about keeping the lights on. It's about being able to make your rent, and it's trying to avoid hunger, which is another problem that we are facing in our country. That's where things stand, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda. Please comment below and let me know what you think. And also, you'll find a link to all of our resources in the description section below. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time. I want you to know that you are greatly appreciated. If you don't know anything about me, please check out my video. You'll learn more about who I am, what my journey has been like, and why you should listen to me. We release videos at 2 p.m. East Coast time most days of the week. That's 2 p.m. East Coast time most days of the week. So please click like, please subscribe, please enable notifications. You'll get instant alerts from our channel as soon as you click subscribe and enable notifications. Now, if you want to get added to our SMS alerts list, we'll send you important breaking news pertaining to the country, pertaining to the economy, and pertaining to your money. I'm gradually going to now start talking more and more about investing. I'm going to talk more and more about saving money. I'm going to essentially tell you how I managed to live the American dream, because I want you to live the American dream. If you want to get on our list, get your cell phone out, send a text message with the word ignition or with the word time to 70,000. That's 70000. You'll then get added to SMS alerts list. Now, keep in mind, you can opt out of the SMS alerts at any point in time that you want. So, we'd welcome you to join our mailing list. You can also, if you want, get on our email list. Simply go to ignitiontime.com/alerts. That's ignitiontime.com/alerts and get added to our email list. And you can opt out of the SMS list or the email list at any point in time that you want. Keep in mind, the Ignition Time channel is, as you know, about the country. It's about the economy, and it's about your money. So please subscribe and become a member of our community. I want you to know that even though we do cover politics on our channel, because at the end of the day, politics does impact the way our country works. For me, it's not about the red or the blue, it's about the red, white, and blue. I'm not Democrat, I'm not Republican, I'm American first. Matters that affect the country then tend to affect the economy. They tend to affect interest rates, they tend to affect inflation, and all other matters that ultimately dictate where your money goes. In other words, how much money you make, how you invest your money. And our goal is to teach you good, healthy habits for the long term. This is a channel where I don't cover shortcuts. I don't talk about, that stock that's $10 today that could become $30 a year from now. You're not going to get that on this channel. You're going to get a slow and steady approach towards building long-term wealth that lasts for generations, which is what I've been able to do. So I welcome you to our journey, and hopefully you can become a part of our community. Now, speaking of community, keep in mind that YouTube does not always send out notifications on time. It happens with technology. So all I ask that you do is simply bookmark youtube.com/ignition time. That's youtube.com/ignition time. Simply bookmark our channel, and then you'll be able to visit the home page of our channel. And then at any point in time, you'll be able to check out our videos. You're not dependent on notifications. Speaking of notifications, follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram handle is ignition_time. That's ignition_time. Follow us on Instagram, and then you'll get exclusive news and content from us on Instagram. I also recommend that you follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is also ignition_time. That's ignition_underscore time. Follow us on Twitter. Now, you can actually click the bottom right side corner of your screen and actually click and subscribe with click that button on the bottom right hand corner of the video that you're looking at right now, and simply click that button and you'll become a subscriber. So please click subscribe. Please enable notifications. I would really appreciate that. Please click like. That does help out the YouTube algorithm. The one thing I'm personally very proud of is our fabulous community. I appreciate you all. Our community is intelligent, it's respectful, it's bipartisan. You'll probably make some new friends in our community. So go ahead and comment below. I think you'll get a lot out of it. And finally, please share this video with at least 2 friends or family members. In fact, just 2 friends or family members. You sharing this video with just 2 people will mean a lot to me personally. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all. One last time, please click like, please subscribe, please enable notifications. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. I appreciate you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.